Okay, so the weekend's over. I'm ready for the week to begin. Got all my meal prep done, cleaned my room, did all the things I need to do. I slept a lot this weekend. I slept on Friday. I went to sleep almost immediately after getting home and eating. And I slept for like 15 hours because I needed it. I really pushed myself this week. I've been running in the mornings mostly to work with my dumbbells to get some exercise into my arms. I want to kind of get back into shape. I watched a YouTube video I say about Travis Bickle, and I was like, maybe I could be the good taxi driver. Um, all the things that he did to get into shape and to make his body clean, those were good things. He also did bad things, but we don't want to do that. We just want to take the good stuff and leave the mohawk behind. I think we got enough going on already. Shit. They really pushed me at work. Now there's been a reduction or a downsizing in our department. So that means there's fewer people on the floor. And I suppose I'm one of the ones that's going to stay. They indicated that I'm staying, even though I had that bit of a hiccup, I think, 2 weeks ago with one of my coworkers. So the way it's set up now, there are now 2 stations that are extremely difficult. The one station, which was on the sorting line, has become slightly more difficult because now there's only 2 people on the sorting line. And the station 1, which is the station that's right next to the Maestro, a automated system which removes the viscera from the birds. That station is pretty difficult because the birds are coming by about, like I said, 3 to 5 birds per second, and we have to identify 14 different imperfections, to not identify the imperfections, but to look for these imperfections. And there's 14 different things to look for, and we have to identify them before they get past us, take the birds off the conveyor belts, treat them appropriately. Sometimes they simply need to be taken to the salvage station and sorted out there. Sometimes they just need to be thrown into the little river of death that flows beneath us. It's like a canal that goes throughout the entire factory, at least in my department. And we mark on the sheet. There's a tally for what was wrong with the bird, how many times it happens, that way we can keep track of these imperfections. That station is pretty difficult, especially for me, because there are a lot of restrictions for movement. I have a very small space, maybe about 2 to 3 feet on either side of me, so I can't chase the bird down the line. This sorting station, it's set up on a platform that's about at least 2 pool tables long. It's it's got some bit of distance to it, and I'm confined to this sort of 5-foot space that I'm supposed to perform a lot of different maneuvers and functions in, and move my hands very quickly. It's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of like a dance. But now this other station which is the wing cutting, leg cutting stations over by the table saw. There's a table saw with a few different sections on the table. There's about 3 different sections on the table designated. Each section is designated for some different part of the process, and the table itself is used for the chicken wings. Sometimes in this area, in this station, the birds will come by, and sometimes at that point in the process, a bird has broken wings or bruised legs due to perhaps, let's say, fair wear and tear along the line of the conveyor belt. So our job would normally be broken up into 2 people, one at the area for the wings, one at the area for the legs. And these stations by themselves, sometimes on the line is what I call being evil. These stations can be very difficult with even just 2 people. On the quote-unquote evil days, sometimes the supervisors will call in extra people to hop on that station. We'll have maybe about 4 people in there doing our best to keep up with the workflow. But now, because of the reduction in the department, the downsizing, it's just 1 person. And it's an athletic event. I'm not kidding you. I have to save my pre-workout specifically for this section, this station. And sometimes, with the way the rotations go, we'll be put through this station twice in one day, 1 9-hour shift, and the amount of energy output in this this table saw area, the amount of energy that I have to use to keep up with the workflow is astounding. I mean, I am pouring sweat. I am drenched to the bone. This has gone to, I would say, construction worker level of manual labor without any hesitation. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm lifting heavy things, but the amount of energy that I'm putting into this, amount of back and forth movement, and the amount of speed that I have to work with, I mean, it is just constant movement. And the birds are kind of heavy. They're about 14 pounds, some of them heavier than 14 pounds. And if we have to take a bird off the line, I mean, you have to whip that thing off the line, put it where it needs to be, and you have to be able to dance from one side to the other and then make sure that nothing's getting past you. And that means the wings that are completely broken, that need to be set on the table for the table saw to trim up and sort out, because those are the wings that you eat in your restaurants. Or if it's the wings that are broken beyond repair, with bones, with compound fractures, those need to be severed and thrown into an appropriate barrel. Or if it's the bruised up legs, which are difficult sometimes to sever from the bird, sometimes both legs are bruised up, so you have to move very quickly and cut both legs, then remove the legs from the shackle, which is moving backwards and forwards, so it's kind of difficult with the sideways movement and the backwards and forwards momentum to sometimes unhook these chicken legs, and then you have to put the carcass back on that specific shackle hung in a sideways weird position. and then move on to whatever's coming next, all in a matter of you have to do all these movements. Basically, you can't be slower than a second and a half just for that alone. And sometimes they'll be like 2 to 5 to 6 to 8 birds in a row like that. At which point you need to take them off the line, put them on the counter, and get to them later. I mean, it's just a ridiculous amount of movement. And I'm drenched to the bone after I get done. And it's cool, it's fun because I like physical activity and stuff, but I mean, what bothers me is that we're not getting a pay increase. I've been with this company for a year and a half. Now they're putting an immense amount of pressure on me, and I'm not getting any more. Like I'm not getting paid any extra for the massive amount of extra work I'm doing. And I'm afraid to speak out about that. I'm afraid to speak out about the sexual harassment that's been going on. Even though the sexual harassment isn't very overt. There is definitely something weird that comes from one of my supervisors specifically. And I'm afraid to speak about it. I'm afraid to speak out about that. I'm afraid to speak out about the hostilities that I sometimes get from my coworkers, and from I'm afraid to speak out about the apparent leniency or favoritism towards people of certain, shall we say, complex persuasions. Complexion persuasions or whatever. I don't know how to say it. I just know that in a lot of cases I feel isolated, alienated, and abused at this place, honestly. But right now it's the only thing I have. I have to hold on to this job for at least the next 4.5 years, which I'm going to do. And that's pretty much all I got going on right now. I'm waiting for a bank statement. I'm waiting for a few bank statements to come through in the mail for me, so I can use that to provide a proof of residence, so I can start donating blood, so I can get, not blood, but plasma, so I can donate plasma and perhaps even bone marrow, so I can get money on the side for that. I'm not the only person doing that either. I talked to one of my coworkers. I talked to a cool coworker on Friday, and we were just, I was getting ready to walk my 8 miles home. Marshall Mathers can rap. Not really. Sorry, bro. But when you're rapping over country beats, you've lost it. You have lost it. Sorry. I remember listening to Eminem when I was a kid. That one where he kills his girlfriend, puts her in the trunk of the car. Oh my gosh. That disturbed me. That changed me. That made me a man. Anyways. Yeah, I was talking to one of my coworkers before I left, and he was talking about how he's about to start donating plasma. And it's just what you gotta do. For people like us, there's not much else. We don't get a lot of opportunities. I don't know if he's a felon. I'm a felon. And it's kind of scary. There are no opportunities for us. I'll have to make some kind of speech just to be able to flip burgers at McDonald's. I'll have to, pray to the waffle gods to be able to cook waffles at Waffle House again. that's how it is with franchise, with corporations. I'm not with a corporation right now. I'm with a company. It's a bit different. In the way these plants, these factories all work and coordinate with each other and stuff. It's a bit different. It's very blue collar. You know, I could probably get in with construction, but that's going to be hell on my body. My knees are already shot. You know, I have bad knees, a bad back, bad ankle. I have no insurance. Can't afford it. This is shit. This is real. This is reality. And I'm very marginalized. And I have nobody to turn to and nobody to talk about. But, you know, I make these videos to kind of try to keep myself sane. It's a form of therapy for me, and it's also sort of like a breadcrumb trail, and maybe also a cautionary tale. I don't know to who, but whatever. Anyways, I've got to get to bed, so keep your social distance.